What's good, ladies and gentlemen? What is good? You know what time it is? It is Monday night. The crew is here. The playoffs are about to get underway. There is so much to talk about. I'm your host, Cheats. This is the Black Baseball Mixtape Podcast. We're going to talk about who's in. We're going to talk about who's out. We're going to give our predictions on who will ultimately get through this round and win the World Series. We're going to match those with the predictions that we had at the beginning of the season. We are going to talk about it all. And Mets fans, yes, Mets fans, get ready because it's coming, Mets fans. The conversation is coming. And I don't think the Tigers fans should be too happy either. Tiger fans are, I don't think they're going to be happy. But this is going to be a very, very fun episode. And I will try to make the argument. That this 2025 Major League Baseball playoffs will be the best playoffs in the history of the sport. So,
man, listen.
Behind the sensationalism.
Before we do, I have to give a shout out to our partners. That's right, the Players Alliance, Numbers Game Scorecards, Rebellion Harvest Sunflower Seeds, Minority Prospects. Make sure you support all of our sponsors, help them out. And before you do anything else, make sure you subscribe to the Black Baseball Mixtape, rate and review the show. The crew is here. They're getting ready on Instagram. They're getting ready on YouTube. Getting ready worldwide because my man, Flobo Boy.
Yes,
Flobo
sir.
Boy, Flobo, let me tell you first and foremost.
Oh Lord.
You could have done a lot of things today.
Yeah.
You could have faked an illness. You could have got a hammy. You could have been in concussion protocol. You could have done a lot of things.
Oh yeah, man.
But you are here. You are not ducking the smoke.
Nope.
You want to talk about what is happening. You kind of tease. You've been teasing this for the last couple of podcast episodes that this could happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you feel today as the resident Mets fan of this group?
I would say this, man. People have been watching my content all year in the booth with Flobo Boys available now and won't interact with nothing. The Mets get eliminated. Do you know how many DMs I had? do you know how many messages I had? Like LOL emojis I got, man.
You get one right now. It's already started, Flobo. It's already started.
Look at that.
Look at this.
All these Marlins fans. JC was a closet Marlins fan for the whole year. I like the Yankees and the Marlins too. Now he's like fish fry. Yeah. I don't like it.
But you're here.
Yeah.
You feel okay.
Oh yeah.
You're prepared to talk about the season that was for the New York Metropolitan. Again, there is a lot. Even I will admit, I got into the action. There are so many memes. There are so many videos, reels, memes. It's hilarious. I just didn't know people cared that much.
They don't
about the fate of the Mets.
They care when the Mets mess up.
Yes.
It's funny when the Mets mess up. That was the whole point the last couple of weeks. It was like, okay, the Mets going to Met is an actual thing. Even people who don't even follow the Mets. So I got it.
Well, we will talk about this, and we will also talk about teams that are in the playoffs, and that's right, April. I see the hat. I was just trying to segue to my girl all about April, who is wearing her Los Angeles Dodgers hat. How excited are you, April? How do you feel? Do you feel ready about this series against the upstart Cincinnati Reds?
Yes, I'm used to being in this place. I will say that. So it feels good to return back to where I belong, which is in the postseason watching my team. And I'm just, I'm ready for all that is going to come with this.
You know what? Let's say it with us. It was back to back to back to back division championships now for the NL West for the Dodgers, 4 in a row. This is the first time, I will admit this, April. This is the first time where I really feel like Dave Roberts is not on the hot seat. Like, I feel like Dave Roberts could lose this World Series, and he's not on the hot seat for the
I
first time.
agree.
I felt like if he had lost the World Series last year, he was going to get fired.
I
This is
didn't. No.
this is the first time where I feel like Roberts is like safe for at least a playoff run.
I
Like,
don't
if they
think
lose to the Reds, people will be upset, but then no one's going to be like, fire Dave Roberts.
I don't think last year would have been the end all for him because of the amount of injuries that they had. That's me. Like, we literally had 0 starting pitchers. We were really out there with a bullpen.
I feel like he would have got. I feel like the heat was on him.
You hear
I felt
that?
like going in the World Series, the heat was on him.
Oh man, with the Otani were underdogs. We persevered in 2024.
Yeah, no, I feel like he's safe this year. I feel like Dave Roberts is safe this year. Let me tell you who is not safe, and that is Malik, the whole squad over there in Houston. This is like the whole squad in Houston. How do you feel? Because again, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together until they started talking about it today, and this is the first time in 7 years that the Astros have not made the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know what do people do in Houston in October? That's what everyone's asking here. Like, I have my friends are texting me like, what are we gonna do? Do we go to the pumpkin patch? Do we actually drink pumpkin drinks now? Like, oh, what's going on?
Do they just go to the ballpark anyway and like act like they're in the playoffs? Like, is that what happens?
Yeah, like, do we just go and just like show up? Can we
Yeah.
just still show up and like turn it on the Jumbotron and watch old videos? Like, what are we gonna do this October? So seriously,
does the Astros like again? I feel like the Astros were decimated by injuries all season, right?
Yeah.
I don't think this is. I would retain the Astros leadership and their managerial experience for at least one more year. However, is it fair for these guys to be on the hot seat?
I think for the Astros standards, and for Jim Crane standards, a lot would agree that he doesn't believe that the window ever closes. That's his philosophy.
Right.
And he's even been in the past, he's actually let go of a general manager that won him a World Series. So I don't put anything past the owner.
And that was personal. That was a Jim Crane.
Yeah.
And for the record, we're talking about Joe Espada and Dana Brown and the whole squad over there. Do we think, do they deserve another? See, I say yes. I'm partial, but
I would say yes. And when Dana Brown was interviewed today and he was asked about Joe Espada's position as the manager of the Astros, he said that he's under contract for 2026, which pretty much is saying that I think that general managers are not going to throw their managers under the bus because it's a reflection on them.
I'm about to say not a professional one.
So I think that it would be right to keep Dana Brown just because of his prowess in a lot of markets, like, building up prospects, development, finding really good players around the margins. But as you mentioned with the injuries, I looked up and it seems like Cam Smith played a lot more innings than we think he did this season. He actually played more innings than I think Paredes, even Altuve, some of the other players on that team. And so when you're relying on a lot of players that are hurt and then you're throwing rookies out there to be able to, be in the fire, you're not going to have a season that's going to, take you to the playoffs. Now, granted, they won 87 games.
They were one game out. They're 2 games out.
But, some of those games that, you think that don't need to win, in the middle of the season, sometimes they catch up at the end. And I guess that's what happened with the Astros this year. So we're going to figure out what to do in October.
Yeah. I mean, look, we also got put this in perspective in regards to some of these teams. A team like the Astros is a great example. They lose Kyle Tucker and Bregman, right? Yeah. Now, Dana Brown and his team puts in Christian Walker. They get Christian Walker. They get Isaac Paredes. They get players that they think are going to be able to put together a team that can get to the playoffs, and they just got really, really hurt with injuries. Then they make the big trade and get Carlos Correa. So it's like they were doing things. Altuve still had a really, really good season as well. Cam Smith is an interesting folk. I was having some conversations earlier today about some of our young black players, and Cam Smith's name obviously came up, but he kind of cooled off. Cooled off steadily as a steady decline in the second half is the best way to say it.
Yeah,
And to the point where they really couldn't put him in the lineup in the waning days of the season. So, we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know if it was Flobo and somebody and I were talking, and it was like Joe Adele took 5 years to become Joe Adele of this season.
Mhm.
So if we can if they can figure out some of these players, is Jordan Walker going to be Joe Adele, or Cam Smith, or some of these guys when they get settled in? There's a lot to be excited about in regards to the season. But now that we've done the introductions, before we go to our playoff predictions, we have to talk about what could be one of the exciting last weekends of the regular season that I've run into. And I don't remember
Me either.
an ending of a regular season that had so many different storylines, so many different plots. So we're talking about the Guardians and the Tigers. We're talking about the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Clearly, we're talking about the Mets and the Reds. We're trying to figure how all of this stuff shakes out. And before we get into kind of the playoff matchups and predictions, I do want to go back around and just say, of all the compelling stories, what was the most compelling for you guys? What were you watching the closest? Flobo, I know what you were watching the closest. So I don't know if you're going to zag here, but when you were looking at the weekend, and again, you've got the series with, Cleveland and Detroit are neck and neck. The Yankees and the Blue Jays are neck and neck. The Mets, obviously, and the Reds, you got who's controlling the fate. What were you watching, and what was the storyline that stood out to you more than anything else over the last weekend?
I think one of these is the Mets series. Just because the idea of this big market team, a team I appreciate, I support, versus a smaller market team that was out of it 3 weeks ago that got back into it due to the Mets falling over themselves. So that was one of them, but definitely Detroit too. Because I was like, man, if the Mets don't make the playoffs and they collapse, it can't be the only team out there that'd be collapsing. I was kind of hoping Detroit didn't do it, but that's why I was watching it as well. But they found a way to make it happen. So those two series are the biggest ones for me.
And so let's get into it. Let's get into it before we have to do anything else. You've been through several Mets season, and you were just lovingly talking about the Mets are going to Met, and you were cautiously preparing yourself. Is this the worst one? Is this the worst Is this the worst one you've lived through?
No, absolutely
the worst
not.
collapse. Mets collapse.
And so by Mets going to Met is something I take offense to, right? Because there's so many people that just love to see a team fail that aren't even like haters. You know what I mean? But no, I lived through 07. I lived through 08. Ironically, the Marlins ended those seasons too. I lived through 2022 when we won 101 games. And they went to San Diego and came back, and we had that homeboy cheating on the mound. So, like, this one didn't feel bad. It definitely felt like there was a decline. Either we weren't going to make the playoffs, or even worse, we're going to stumble into the playoffs back first and then wonder how far we're going to go. Because the one thing they said last year was that we're running on fumes. Let's upgrade. But did we really upgrade was the question we have to ask ourselves.
So, yeah, I mean, look, the one thing that stands out to me, and I know there's a lot of challenges and there's a lot of things, but the one thing that stands out to me that I feel is kind of the hardest part to deal with, and it's not the payroll, it's the fact that I think you got really good seasons out of Soto, Lindor, and Alonso. And the Mets got really good seasons out of these guys, and it didn't, it didn't result in a playoff appearance. Alonso's already opted out. He literally,
as it should.
It was like as soon as the game was over, he's like opted out. So I was like,
yeah,
all right. But I just feel the thing that hits the hardest is two things for them when I look at the Mets kind of season overall. One is that personally, I can't defend Cedric Mullins. I want to defend Cedric Mullins. I love Cedric Mullins. He's one of my favorite players in all of Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
What the Mets got out of that trade did not work. Like, it just didn't work, and it didn't go well, and I don't know what happened, and I don't know if he's just, not comfortable there or what. Well, but there's a unrestricted free agent year for Ced now, and he not only did he not do the club any favors, he didn't do himself any favors, right?
True.
So that part
Right.
was painful. Like I said, and I was painful for some of the guys like Lindor. I really like Lindor, and I think he had a really positive season, a really good season. And it was just like I don't think we're going to be able to see. I think the Mets would have been a fun story to see them in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, you talk about lack of skill and luck, and I don't want to dominate the conversation here, so please chime in with your perspectives from outside the fandom.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
there is some unluckiness there because every trade piece the Mets got underperformed. Greg Soto, Housley, and Mullins didn't do, and even Rogers.
Yeah.
The under submariner didn't even do anyone any favors. As a black person, it breaks my heart that Cedric Mullins couldn't really over there and be the face of the brothers out there. I get that. But the thing is, and I know Dave Stearns is probably getting a lot of emails. He's getting a lot of people wanting his job. He inherited a team that needed help, but was tied up in contracts he himself would not do. You know what I mean? I like Sterling Marte. People say we look alike, but his contract
You
was an
do.
albatross.
You do look alike.
We do not, kids.
You do look alike.
His contract was an albatross. McNeil was Brendan Nimmo had an 8-year deal with declining lower body injuries. So like he's moving his money around, and then the boss man's like, "Yo, his 800 milli, go get Juan." It's like, what do you want a GM to do? Now that said, it doesn't matter. You got to win the games. They showed it could win the games, and then decided that the season was over in June, and it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. It was a wrap. I'm going to jump over to you, Malik. There's a lot of storylines. Like we said, AL East, AL Central, that wild card spot in the NL. There's actually some really good series as well. That Padres-Mariners series was really fun if anybody's paying attention to it. What stood out to you over the weekend?
What stood out to me over the weekend was really, I was trying to find out if the Guardians were really going to like solidify securing the AL Central throughout the end of the season, because you see, like, we knew that the collapse of the Detroit Tigers was kind of like sudden, but I never imagined in my wildest dreams this season that the Guardians was going to just take it at the last minute. And so just watching them just kind of hold on to the end of the season with their pitching staff and how they've been kind of like skating by with the power of Jose Ramirez, a Lynn Sanity run for Bo Naylor, and Stephen Kwan just hitting in the lineup full of guys that are just trying to do their best. And so I was just kind of watching those Guardians and just kind of like, giving them the props they deserve, just like we did with the Brewers a little bit earlier. Just seeing that they keep doing it.
My read over, so obviously I wasn't paying that much attention until the Detroit series in Cleveland. So they had those 3 games before the last series that I watched all 3 of those games. And I was actually really surprised at the Cleveland pitching. The Cleveland pitching was much better than I thought. The
really
second, obviously their back half is really good, but they got really good starting pitching in that against in the 3 games against Detroit. I was actually surprised after they beat the first 2. Won the first 2 games. I was actually surprised that they dropped that third one going into the last series. But it's better. You hear it all the time. It's better to be hot than good. Cleveland is really hot. And when you are hot, what do you want to do? You want to keep playing. And what I mean by that is Cleveland in this wild card series, I think it's going to benefit Cleveland just to not take the break, right? Like just keep playing because they're hot. They believe. The other thing I will say that I picked up watching Cleveland for the last 2 series, obviously as they go into the end of the year, they believe they can win any game at any score at any time, and they play like it. And I think the funny part is I think a lot of us were looking at some of these other teams around this last weekend saying, who wants to win? Like, who really wants to win? Who's playing like your life depended on it every inning? And it's the Guardians. The Guardians is that team. So really, really fun to watch. It was fun that especially those final 3 games were in Cleveland, because you couldn't get a better kind of script than the extra inning 3-run walk-off home run, right? Even though the Tigers had already lost and they knew it in the stadium, just to have that Raccoon, hit that home run and just have everybody celebrate the way they celebrated. There's been some really great stadium energy. Energy as we've gone through this stretch. I mean, Cleveland was one of them, but even like, do you see what they were doing in Chicago and Seattle? Like, the stadium energy has been absolutely unreal real.
Yes.
Dodgers, they had a fun weekend there as well. What stood out to you?
We
You don't have
did.
to talk about the Dodgers. April, what stood out to you as you looked through kind of that last weekend, trying to figure out what the seedings were going to be?
Of course, I was watching my team to see exactly how we would perform against the Mariners because we weren't at home. So the fact that we were able to pretty much take that series, watch Clayton Kershaw give his last regular season performance, and I'm not going to lie, that Cleveland story is one of the best stories in Major League Baseball because never in my dreams did I imagine a team coming back from a 15 and a half game back to not just make the postseason, but to literally win the division. Like, that is just a fantastic story. And I'm sure, I don't know a single person who doesn't love baseball who was not watching that particular series very closely. And I know a couple of people who are Cleveland fans, and they are diehards. But another story for me that I was watching was that Blue Jays Yankee series. And that's because amongst us, not a single one of us picked the Blue Jays to win the AL East. And they come out on top, but not only do they come out on top, they in the regular season beating the Rays 13-4.
Come from behind. They came from behind to do that.
Yes. So it was pretty exciting for me because we all know that in the AL East, it's all about Yankees, Red Sox. But for the Blue Jays to reclaim that top spot and get Anthony Santander back is just something that is a positive.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I watched it really closely. Obviously, the Yankees were playing my O's. But here's the thing. The truth of the matter is the Yankees won 8 games in a row to close out the regular season. They swept. They took. I don't want to say. They only lost 1 game in the first Orioles series. They wind up sweeping the White Sox after that, and they wind up hosting the Orioles and sweeping them. And under normal circumstances, you get that hot and they're that close, you would think that the Yankees, believe it or not, would actually win the division, right? But no, because the Blue Jays absolutely all they did was keep winning as well. They were, they were 500 in the last 10 games, but they won 4 in a row. They won the games that they needed to win, and it was interesting to see 2 teams really taking care of business, and they were taking care of business at home, especially that last weekend. But they were just they're gearing up. They're getting playoff ready. There was no letdown. They both, I believe, really wanted to win the AL East.
Yes.
And kudos, hats off to the Blue Jays, man. Flobo, the Blue Jays are one of those teams where on paper it makes sense. On paper they look really good.
Oh, yeah.
And every year something happens. They're snake bit. Every year somebody gets hurt. Somebody, this person has a down year. This person's out for a really long time. Well, this year, they seem to be healthy enough. George Springer had an amazing season.
Your boy.
How about George Springer?
Vladdy got his money, right? Even though I guess Bichette was out, the last he'll be back. I was under an impression as well. But but he was hitting the cover off the ball, right? So it was it seemed like this was a season for the Blue Jays where it was this is what the Blue Jay, the front office and Blue Jays are kind of we've been telling you, if we get all our people back, we're gonna be good.
Yeah, and notice no one ever says Blue Jays going to Blue Jay. No, I'm just kidding. So, but you're absolutely right because going into the season, I was wondering the year before and the year before that, when it gets to the end, something always happens. And when they signed Santander and he was ice cold, I go, oh man, I hope this is not their big splash. It's not working out for them. But I guess Mad Vlad became Paid Vlad, and the chemistry was there. And they found a way to really come over a really tough division. I know we talk about the Red Sox and they're fun to watch. Was it MLB League Pass?
MLB
Right. I know that. But the Rays are not slouches either. You know what I mean? And they were playing in an odd location too. So there was so many things working against Toronto. The fact they did it, it's good for them, but also shows their resilience as well.
And can I add one more thing too? I said this in the group chat. I really love that MLB makes everybody play at that same
That same
time
day
for
or
games
last, yeah, like a
162.
3 o'clock start for
Yes,
everything.
I love it. You got to play your best. You don't know what's going to happen until the game starts and you're already well into it. I just love it so much.
Malik, I didn't know exactly why they did that, but I found out today, and I found out a little bit later when I was talking to folks. They did it because those teams are on planes immediately after the game to go to the playoff teams to their playoff destinations. They got there last night, and that's why this morning they had their press conferences. If you notice, the playoff press conferences are a thing. It's kind of released through MLB. They tell you all the press conference times for all the media because, as we mentioned in the last week's episode, uh, I'm on the list now. So now I get the press release that says, "Oh, these are the postseason press conferences and who's going to be available at this time." And they really so they're there. They had like on-field workouts today, press conferences and practices, and they'll be ready to take the field tomorrow. And I was like, "Oh, it made sense to me where they just had to do it early enough where all the teams, no matter where they played Sunday, needed to be where they need to be for Tuesday."
Yeah, it keeps an even playing field, and so there's no other advantages or complaints about that. We played at night; they played during the day.
Yep.
So I think it gives everybody the chance to be able to get locked in for the playoffs. A lot of those veterans are sometimes getting pulled from the game mid-game if they're leading or if they're not leading. To keep their legs rested for the games that matter. So I'm happy to see it. And how about those Blue Jays? George Springer is really impressive this season, how he's bounced back.
Yeah.
Quick question.
And they have a pretty impressive lineup too.
All those guys play really good defense.
And we'll see how this plays out because we talked about this a little bit last episode when we're talking about who's afraid of who, right? There are some lineups where you just look at it from top to bottom and you're like, good God, that's scary. Cleveland's really hot. I don't think anybody's afraid of Cleveland. I don't think they're asking to they're not jumping at the bit to play Cleveland, but they're going to play Cleveland. They're not going to be scared. I don't think because of history, I don't think the Blue Jays bring in like an intimidation factor to anybody they play. They're a good team. You're going to have to beat them. They're going to fight, but I just don't think they're going to bring an intimidation factor, right? Whereas I think the Yankees, I think the Dodgers, I think that Mariners lineup, I think that Padres lineup, you're going to be like, holy smokes, we got to play these guys, You're
not afraid of Mad Vlad and playoff Vlad?
Well, no, when
George Springer back in the playoffs? You know what he's done with the
Don't
Astros?
get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Malik. When they're up at bat, you're definitely going to be afraid. But I just don't think you look top to bottom and say, this is a murderer's row that we can't defeat. But we'll see. It also could be a big market, big name thing.
It might be.
That's
they have the lowest strikeout rate in the league.
Because that lineup right there.
Blue Jays have been leading in pretty much every statistical category, like walks, not striking out a lot, putting the ball in play. Something they do better than the Yankees that are a little bit, quote unquote, scary. So we'll see. We'll see when the lights get bright.
What do you think, Flobo? Do you think it's a big market? Because again, we said the same thing about the Brewers. The Brewers are the best team in baseball, and I was like, nobody's afraid of the Brewers.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think it's pretty much Vlad. I think on the outside looking in, those who don't know about Toronto heard about Vladimir Guerrero and that Bichette guy, and it's a hard drop off from there. And plus now at the end of the season, the MLB is doing a lot of the here are your 30 for 30 scores and. Two of them are Mets, whatever. But one of them is Jazz Chisholm, and he's a Yankee, where I think he's getting to that conversation too. Trent Grissom's rise. So it's unfair to Toronto. Maybe use that to your advantage, but I don't think the average casual fan is going to be afraid of that lineup till they see it.
True.
And go ahead.
And you mentioned that average casual fan. I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he brought up that because he watched Toronto a lot, obviously, because he's a Yankees fan. And he said that one thing that Toronto does is they wear your pitchers out. They will foul off balls until they get what they want. And they are really good at making that pitch count rise and making you go to your bullpen. So that's something to be aware of. And one of their tactics that they use as they play.
Again, like every other team, if you're getting the stuff that you need out of Clement and Dalton Varsho and Alejandro Kirk, if you're
Mhm.
getting what you need out of them, which the Blue Jays have been getting what they need out of them all season, right?
Mhm.
If you're getting that, and like then you see Springer and and Bochette and Vlad and those guys, like, yeah, good luck,
Right.
man.
Yeah,
Good
the
luck.
complementary players are so
Yeah,
important
like
at this
and
time of the
and
season.
I think on those teams, right? Again, you're looking at teams that are playing really well, but like the Brewers, you're getting a lot from people not named Yelich and Churio. You know what I mean? Like you're getting what you need.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited. I'll be interested to see how these teams play out. With that said, all right. So we talked. We're gonna transition because we got to do our predictions. We got to get through the World Series, but I will say this: there are so many storylines that, as we concluded the regular season, that I wanted to talk about, and I actually got so caught up in kind of the playoff race and so forth that I wound up having to do extra videos to talk about some of the black players that are playing, finish the season extremely strong. I There is always a need to kind of figure out how we can get more of our young players in positions where they're going to be successful. With that said, I am extremely optimistic about some of the players that touch the field this year and how many. Malik, you were talking about innings and Cam Smith. There's a lot of young players that got innings in Major League Baseball that you know I would say at the beginning of the season, nobody was thinking of Dalen Lyle. Nobody was thinking of Jeremiah Jackson. Nobody was thinking of Jamal Jones. And all of these guys, and more, so many more, really made impacts on their teams. So we'll do that. We'll do that as another time as we get into the all season. But there's a lot to be optimistic about, and then there's a lot more coming when we look at like the Bryce Matthews of the world and guys that spent a lot of time in AAA. But ultimately, those guys, I'm sure, will find homes on major league rosters as well. So,
And
April,
Cheeks,
are you ready?
that's my African American section. Is that what we're
That's my African American.
I mean, I was trying to figure out
There
ways
you go.
to work. Look, we got Jordan Walker in early. I was trying to figure out ways to get Christian Moore and Mason Wynn in and some of these other guys, Taylor Trammell.
Yeah, we got a few guys. We gotta shout them out. You're
I
I
right.
have to make a T-shirt with that.
I think we'll figure it out with our award ceremony. We got to have like a special
I
end
like
of the
that.
year mixtape awards
Mhm.
that are like going to be specifically catered to our guys. So we'll figure
Yes,
it
we
out.
got to.
Like somehow the Will Benson Award.
I
All right.
think you'll
All right.
approve.
We're gonna take again before we go into this. If you have World Series, if you have predictions through the playoffs, we're gonna do each round. If you have predictions, you can put them in the comments as well. But we will, ladies and gentlemen, go to April as we recap. So, how do we want to do this, April? How do we want to recap kind of who we predicted, but also try to start doing the divisional predictions?
Let's go through each NL East, NL Central, NL West, and then we can go through who the teams are for the wild card, and then the NLDS, and then NLCS. What do y'all think?
Okay.
About that?
So
Okay.
you kick it off and tell us, I guess, what we picked, and then we'll go from there.
All right, beginning with the NL Central, which, by the way, had 3 teams making it to the postseason.
Wow.
So, yeah, prior to the season starting, Malik and Lewis had the Milwaukee Brewers taking the Central, and they were correct. Cheats and Flobo had the Chicago Cubs.
Hey, that's still not bad.
taking
That's not bad.
He loves the Cubs.
And I had the Reds taking it. And yeah, that was completely what the hell are you doing? But all 3 of us were correct in picking all 3 teams to making it to the
Everybody's don't deserve to be there, but
We
okay.
know
All right.
ball. That's good.
All right.
All right, moving on to the NL East. Malik and Lewis had the Atlanta Braves taking you. Cheats had the Mets.
Yeah, amazing Mets.
Crazy.
Thank you, Flobo.
The
I would never. I would never.
And not to toot our own horn here, but me and Flobo had the Phillies taking.
Okay, so y'all
and we were.
there should be a scoring system or something. Like we should figure out how. But so we should continue on. But
April's in the lead is all you need to know. She got them all right so far.
Right, we'll figure out a scoring system to figure out who's.
Yeah, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
So with this scoring system, are we doing just?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll
figure it out. Keep going.
Okay.
Well, half a point.
All right. So moving on to the NL West, Cheats, Flobo, Lewis, and me all had the Los Angeles Dodgers winning the division and heading to the postseason, and we all were correct. And Malik had the Diamondbacks taking the division. And let me also point out, because you told me to start this, Flobo, you had San Diego finish.
I've learned to hate that team. I'm bad.
And I want to go back because I also said that the Braves would finish fourth, and I was correct.
You were a Braves hater from the beginning of the season.
I respect it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so far that has so that is our National League. Are we ready to make predictions?
So we're in the National League right now, right? So let's get this thing going. Let's start with the 6-3 series. The Reds are taking on the Dodgers in LA. Pitching matchup for the Dodgers has been announced. I don't know if I've seen it for the Reds. Let me know if you guys have seen it for the Reds. Game 1, though, Yamamoto. Game 2, Snell. No, it's not Yamamoto. Game 1.
It's Snell and Yamamoto.
Oh, I thought. Okay, there you go. So Snell, Game 1, then Yamamoto, then Shohei Ohtani, right? Game 3, if needed.
Emergency.
Now, and again, I'm assuming they're going to see Hunter Green.
He's game 1.
Hunter Green, I thought, was pitching game 1.
Okay, so Flobo, do you have the pitching for Cincinnati?
I don't. All I have is Hunter Green is game 1. I think it's TBD right now.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going first. Flobo, you go first.
Man, you and I both know the Reds shouldn't be here. I'm not just saying that as just a jaded Mets fan. Let's be look. You know what? I like the Reds. I'm wearing their minor league affiliate right now. Shout out to Chattanooga Lookouts. But that team is gonna piss off Ohtani for him having put on his uniform. It's gonna be a game and a half defeat. That's just not even 2 games. It's going to be a total massacre. I got to get to Los Angeles, man. They're just too good. The coaching staff is too strategic. They're going to treat it like war. And it's going to be one of the quickest series we've ever seen. Probably like 3 hours of actual game time.
So you're going
LA. Unfortunately, yeah. Should be the Mets, man.
Malik, do you have a prediction here?
Okay, so I predict that LA is going to take the series. Okay, that's easy. But Elly De La Cruz is going to have a good series. He's going to show us a little bit of a taste of what he could do in the postseason. He's done well at Dodger Stadium in the past, so maybe he's going to show us what he can be for other teams. Maybe this is a tryout. Maybe this is a trade deadline tryout for Elly De La Cruz going forward. Let's see.
Confirmed. It's TBD for game 2 for the Reds.
Is it a tryout? Is he going to try out in center field? What's happening here?
He's going to try out at shortstop because he's one of the best shortstops that I've ever seen in my life.
Is he going to preview him in center field for next season?
He is a shortstop. He is a shortstop, and he's going to do so well.
There's everything in my heart that wants me to pick the Reds. Not because I think the Reds are going to win. I really like No, I really like the Reds. I mean, I like Hunter Green. I like Will Benson. I like Keybron. I'm talking about as like players. As people I'm rooting for. I root for Hunter Green every time. I root for Hunter Green.
I'm telling Mookie you said that.
I root for Mookie too, but I root for Hunter Green. I really do. I'm like he's one of these outside. He's one of the best I would say what do you say, top 3 in the National League? Might not be number 3.
Yeah.
So, what is an aspect
Yes.
of the Reds that can
Top
put
3.
them over the Dodgers? Like, is there something on the Reds that just says like, wow, they can use?
No. I mean, I think Hunter Green can go 7, strike out 9 or 10. They may be able to steal game 1. Here's the thing. My thing is I don't think the Reds put up enough runs. Like, I don't think they hit enough. And the Dodgers, if you're talking about the pitching that they're going to face in these 3 games, I think that's the challenge. Are the Reds going to be able to score enough runs? I think was it Peralta that really kind of did them well yesterday, right? Like Sunday. They lost that game 4-2, right? All the Mets had to do was win. They got shut out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Flobo.
I don't think you are though. That's the funny thing. I think you're just saying it. You're not proud at all.
I think obviously the Dodgers will win the series. They're at home. They've got the better pitching, but I really hope Hunter Green pitches a really good game 1, and I hope that people really get to see a lot of energy and excitement from my guy Will Benson. Like I don't know exactly where he'll be in the lineup, if he's in the lineup, if he's a bat off the bench, but I want to see Will Benson do something really well. So that's where I am, and maybe a couple of Gold Glove plays for Key Bryant Hayes over there, some web gems. But I'll turn it over to April to take us home on this one.
Okay, and y'all already know exactly who I'm going.
Better not be the
for.
Reds.
Reds?
Cheats.
Yeah, Red.
But for the record, I do like the Reds, and I am happy that a team that I chose actually made the playoffs. So
this is the alternate timeline I don't like. This timeline sucks. It should be Queens, man. It should have been Queens.
I know.
All right.
All right, moving on to the Cubs versus the Padres. I want to know exactly who y'all have winning this particular series. And it is in Chicago.
And pitching matchup for game 1, at least, is set. Malik's guy, Nick Pivetta, Matthew Boyd for the Cubs.
Yep.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough series. Am I going first?
Yeah, man.
So we're going to have to go with the Padres because that's what's in. I think that Machado is turning it up. If you saw him at his post at like the clinch party and how he was just kind of like ready to take the boys back into the postseason, I think that the Padres are ready to make some more noise. And the Cubs might get caught with the pants down in Chicago for the first 2 games. So I'm going to pick the Padres.
Padres for Malik. Get it down there. I will jump in and agree with Malik from day one here, only because as everybody's followed the running joke on this show, I don't watch the Cubs. I don't even know if they're any good. So I'm gonna go with the Padres. I watch them all the time. They are really
not the rationale.
They're really an exciting team to watch from top to bottom. And every once in a while, Nick Pivetta gives you that game where he goes like 7 innings with like 10 strikeouts. So I'm gonna go with the Padres as well to win the series.
Had this been 2 weeks ago, I would have said Chicago. I promise, ironically, when they played the Mets, they were so bad and sloppy so late in the season, I was worried. I go, well, you're supposed to win this series. You didn't. I got to give it to San Diego, man. They are really good, and that's where my praise ends. But I feel they're going to win this one. Probably the full three games in the series.
Do you praise the City Connects, the Padres
No.
City Connects?
I think it's corny, and all their uniforms are corny. Either you look like you work for UPS or an ice cream cone. There's no middle ground. Like, come on.
And they're retiring
they should.
Too.
They just tired.
They're retiring the brown and yellow?
No, the City Connect.
No, the ice cream.
When Tatis hit that grand slam with the City Connect on, the crowd was going crazy. I was like, this is what it's all about, guys.
Padres are the corniest human in baseball right now.
Well, everyone, I'm going to be the odd person out, and I'm going to roll with the Cubs. This is not because I'm a Padres hater. I actually
it does help though. It does help. Yeah.
Man, you don't like them.
I don't. But because I've watched them a lot, I have a few concerns with the Padres. Number one, their bullpen, whenever they go in, they're not pretty consistent. Dylan Cease has not looked as of lately. As of lately, Dylan Cease has not been the Dylan Cease that we know. And I don't know how that matches up with players on the Cubs. So when you have people like PCA and Michael Bush and some of these other players, yeah, you got Tatis, yeah, you have some of the other players, but I just feel like in the postseason, the Padres, I don't trust them to cut the
You said
edge.
Dylan Cease. You know, I was talking with a friend of mine about Dylan Cease. He's kind of like a right-handed Blake Snell, but more frustrating because you'll see a line with Dylan Cease. He'll have 4 innings, 7 walks, maybe like 8 strikeouts, 3 runs because he's kind of wild. But I see where you're going there. And the Cubs do have a pretty dynamic offense, so I got to.
First of all, can I just say I'm laughing out loud because you literally said, yeah, they have Tatis and some other guys.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody else pick up on this?
Some dude.
Can we talk about who some of those other guys
Merrill,
are?
Sure, yeah. Fernando Tatis and
I was gonna say there's this guy you might have heard of him, Manny Machado. There's this guy you might have heard of him called Jackson Merrill. There's this guy you could have heard of like Luis Arias. There's this guy you might have heard of because Xander Bogaerts is back in the lineup.
Oh yeah, he is back.
Like, that's what she said. Other guys. She's not wrong.
It's not like it's Tatis and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, Tatis and them.
I'm not scared of them.
Top to bottom, they are a scary lineup. Ryan O'Hearn.
They're cute. It's cute, but I'm
this might be a little scarier. This might be a little scarier.
I'm not.
If they
the
got
Cubs
Tucker
are
back.
scarier.
They can't. Hey, say Suzuki. If they have Tucker hitting, if they have their first baseman Bush hit a lot of balls hard this year.
I'm not saying they can't win. They can definitely win.
Here's another thing for me. The Cubs beat you not just on defense when they're playing really good defense and when they are batting. The Cubs literally move the bases. The Padres do not move around the bases the way Cubs.
You guys can be,
and that's typically how they've won many games. And I expect them to play very aggressively offensively as they have done to win many of the games that they've done this season.
Again, you guys may be 100% right. I've already told you I don't watch the Cubs. I don't know what they do. All I'm going to tell you guys is that I hope there's not a memorial service in Arizona that Matt Shaw has to go to during the middle of the playoffs because he might leave the team. That's all I'm going to say. All right, moving on.
So, do we want to go to NLCS now? I mean NLDS.
Yes. Let's go through the national.
All right, so NLDS cheats. You have the Dodgers versus the Phillies.
Hey, I should get bonus points for this, right?
Yeah. Who do you have? Who do you have winning that game?
Oh yeah, man. Give me the Fighting Phils. Give me the Fighting Phils. Oh, what? No.
What?
Give me. I don't like the layoff, and I would hope all the teams would be able to play straight through. If anyone I think is experienced enough in this kind of playoff climate to be able to take a series off and come back and have the energy and the mojo and set their pitching in a way that they need,
it's the Dodgers.
It probably is the Dodgers, but if it's not the Dodgers, it could be the Phillies as well. I think the Phillies are poised for this. Here's the thing. I know Zach Wheeler's gone. That's a huge hurt. And it's going to be tough in a longer series. It's not a 3-game series, right? Is it 5 games?
5 games.
Yeah. 5. But I do think that, I just think that lineup is really, really good. I think they are getting I was really surprised, even with Wheeler going out, how well the Phillies pitching was holding up.
Yes.
So, yeah, man, I like the Phils on this one. Book it for Chiefs and the Phillies.
Mm-mm.
All right, Malik, same for you. You have Dodgers versus Phillies.
I'm taking the Dodgers this time because of Ohtani. That's a bad man, and he's pitching again. Last year he wasn't pitching.
He's pitching again.
So we might see some pitching from Ohtani in the playoffs. something we've never seen
Yeah.
before, which seems weird. We've seen him forever. We've never seen him pitch in the playoffs. So, you know, we might go shutty in the playoffs against those Phillies because sometimes the Phillies get real cold when they get home run happy. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Dodgers, and that's all I got to say about that.
All right, Flobo, you too. Dodgers versus
I'm gonna
Phillies.
save
Who do
the
you have?
discussion. That NLCS is gonna be Milwaukee, LA, man. You talk about the LA Dodgers are gonna go on a run. The Phillies are with the layoff. They do get kind of streaky, and most importantly, when it comes down to it, that home field advantage at Dodger Stadium in the playoff is another thing. I'm not sure if it's a distance or time zones or what
Well,
have
Philly's
you.
got the home field advantage.
I'm sorry, when
Yeah,
they go
it's a
when they go to
Disney
Los
thing.
Angeles,
When they go
when
to
they go to
Los-
Los
okay.
Angeles, I just
Yeah.
feel like that would be
Okay.
like their little edge as well. But
Little turning
yeah,
point.
I got to give it to Los Angeles, man.
Okay. And of course, I also have the Dodgers.
All
So.
right. So cheats
There
are the
we
win
go.
here is what I'm hearing.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you gonna
Moving
see.
on to that bottom part of the bracket, we have, if you chose the Padres, it would be the Padres versus the Brewers. Who are you taking, Cheats?
This one's harder. This one is much harder.
We don't know.
Yeah, this is much harder because by this time they're gonna be playing a lot of baseball, a lot of meaningful baseball.
Mhm.
You know what? Let's just book it, man. Give me the Padres. Let's do it.
What about Bob Uecker, man? Dang.
Give me the Padres. Let's see what it shakes out. Because again, we've done this, Flobo. We've done this together now for some World Series from these playoff runs, and you know those 5 seeds. Those 5 seeds are, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna get there.
Yeah, I get you, but at the same time, there was a sentimental Cinderella run, and that's Milwaukee. They have the feel good human interest story this year.
They
with the whole
do.
do it for Bob Uecker.
They do. And I'm not loving the fact that I am look, I am picking against my community here because the Padres and the Phillies don't have shout out Taiwan Walker. Let's go, baby. See
If he's in the
can get
roster,
in here.
if he's gonna be in the roster, they always leave him off. They always leave him off.
Yeah, he
They
might get
need him.
left off
All right.
They gonna need that man.
He might get left off.
Malik, you too. Padres versus Brewers. Who are
Okay,
you
this time I
taking?
gotta take the Brew Crew. It's just the way that they play baseball. The Padres play really good baseball too. They know how to put up really good at bats, but I just feel like the Brewers, have a pretty diverse way of scoring runs. If they want to run the bases, they'll do that. If they want to hit for power, they have a couple guys that can do that. If they want to just like string together a few good at bats, they can do that. And their pitching staff might be able to carry them through, and they have enough guys to throw into the fold. So I'm gonna pick the Brewers.
Yeah, 100%
They're
over
really
here.
good.
I think if it's gonna be one upset in the playoffs, it'd be there. But no, I'm giving it to Milwaukee.
Okay. They're good.
Okay.
They're good.
And that's exactly what you said. And when I had this conversation with my dad, I told him that whoever won out of the Cubs and Padres was going to the NLCS. And I'm going to stick with that. So because I picked the Cubs, I'm sticking with the Cubs and they going to the NLCS.
Interesting.
But I'll say if the Padres win, I think that the Padres are going. I think that layoff, as great as the Brewers have been, may be a bit too much for them in the postseason.
We'll
but
see.
hey, we'll see.
Shout out, Blake.
All right, moving on to the NLCS. Cheat. You have the Phillies versus the Padres.
I do.
Ew.
It is highly unlikely. It is highly unlikely.
That's an ugly series.
Let me just tell you,
across the country.
It
is highly unlikely right now. And I'll also go on the record and say, this weekend I basically lost all of my sports betting money, so I am not good at this. I am really, really bad at it. But book it, man. Put the Phillies in the World Series. Let's go.
Ain't nobody gonna watch Luis Arias at 1:00 in the morning. Come on. I'm just saying.
Put the
All
Phillies
right.
in, my boy.
And Malik, you too have Malik, you have the Dodgers versus the Brewers. Who are you taking?
Ooh, I think that the Dodgers are going to try to go back to the World Series again. So The Dodgers are going to try and successfully overpower the scrappy foam at the mouth baseball that the Brewers play. They're going to try to just shut down all that small ball stuff. They're like, no, 3-run home run, Otani. They're going to try to do some things to the Brewers. They're going to try to break their spirits. And I think that's the type of baseball that they're going to try to play against them. A very bullyish type of baseball. And so that's what I predict.
Okay. All right. Flobo, you too. You have the Dodgers versus the Brewers.
I agree. That's probably the biggest clash of styles of all the baseball matchups in the postseason. But I'm going to give it to the Brewers. And for the one reason I had about why I didn't think the Dodgers would repeat in April, on the April show, was their age. I think the small ball, the way the Brewers score can help them out as an advantage. The speed versus power and strength. Got to give it to Milwaukee here.
Okay. And y'all already know, I had the Dodgers going to the World Series before the season started, and so I'm just
hold on. Are you rolling with the Dodgers because that's your team, or are you really thinking they're going to just beat all these teams on technical levels? I need to know.
Oh no, I really do. I think that we're legit healthy enough to be able to compete on not just because I like them. I really believe that we are going to show up in the postseason. My major concern for them is that bullpen.
What do you mean? It's a rookie Sasaki boosted bullpen. And Clayton Kershaw boosted bullpen.
And possibly you heard that, Clayton Kershaw.
Like, that's my team. Not like I like the Reds. Yeah. Why? Because I like the Reds.
There you go. Sasaki struck out. He struck out Cal Raleigh on like 3 pitches, right? Or whatever.
And did.
So what are they? They're not going to put. They're leaving Kershaw off of the wild card roster, right?
He's off the wild card roster because he pitched yesterday. So technically he really wouldn't be available to pitch at all. So that's why they left him off the roster. But if the NLDS shows up, he's going to pitch. We just don't know if he's going to come out of the bullpen or if he's going to be a starter.
Knock the Dodgers out, then
man, listen.
So then Clayton Kershaw's done. Is what you're saying.
I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to speak that.
All right. Wow. Good work here. All right, where are we at now? We're done.
We're moving on to the AL before we hop into our predictions, everyone. Beginning with the AL Central, Cheats was the only person to have the Cleveland Guardians as the winners of the AL Central Division. Meanwhile, Flobo, Lewis, and me, we all had the Royals, and Malik had the Twins. So shout out to Cheats for getting that.
So nobody picked the Tigers. Wow.
Not a single person.
Hey, at least we were right about that.
Not a single person.
Bonus points.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the AL West.
Yeah.
Houston, Cheats, Flobo, and Malik all had Houston winning the division. Not a single person picked the Mariners. However, Lewis and I did have the Rangers taking the division. Even though they had a nice showing a little bit.
They just kind of tooted at the end,
Yeah. They probably get sent down.
And then finally, the fated AL East. For the New York Yankees, Flobo and Malik had them taking the East. The Baltimore Orioles, Cheats.
I'm going to the World Series, baby.
I like them.
And Lewis and I took the Red Sox. Not a single person took the Blue Jays. So currently, we have Cheats, Flobo, April, and Lewis all with 2 picks correct. That does not count our individual picks as far as Cy Young, World Series, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. So that's going to be a bit later. Just wanted to give y'all that. But moving into the actual picks, the AL. We're going to start off with Cleveland versus Detroit.
Yeah.
Cheats.
No,
who do you have?
This is the easiest one of them all. Give me the Guardians, right? Like they just played them.
Okay.
There is nothing that I've seen from the Tigers over the last, not only second half of the season, but over the last like 3 series that gives me confidence that they can string together wins against a good team right now. So I am
Right.
definitely going Guardians. Though shout out to our guy. I believe we'll see if Justin Henry Malloy's on the roster.
Hope.
Because I think he's there. I know he's in Cleveland with the team, and they have to a lot of those guys are they go with the team, and they just have to see if they're going to be on the roster or not. So
Right.
Taxi
uh,
squad.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Malik, same for you. Guardians or
Yes, we're
Tigers?
picking the Guardians. I don't believe in bullpen chaos. I think it's bullpen bull crap that they're doing in Detroit. I don't think it works. I don't think it works for the playoffs. And so after they get past Scooble, what are they going to do? Are they going to throw Crater Montero? I think it's less an indictment on. It's more of an indictment on Detroit than it is on the performance of how Cleveland does. Cleveland just has to. They just have to not play bad.
Right.
Not trying to just
Right.
throw Detroit under the bus completely, but this last half of the season really kind of showed us that they need a lot of
Yes.
work around the margins, and it might cost a little bit from their ownership and their GM to kind of fix those holes that they have. So, Guardians.
I agree. Flobo, Guardians or Tigers?
Can't believe I'm the only voice of reason here, man. It's going to be Detroit.
Ooh,
Cause let's be
wow.
real. We love Cinderella stories, but not all going to go all in these long runs because of good times and vibes. Detroit is built to win. They have a chance of a respite. They have a day off to collect themselves. They're winning this one, man.
Wow. You're zagging. You're zagging hard here.
Yeah, got to pick one of them. Get those points.
Get this.
Okay. Well, y'all know I love me some Tigers, but that would be the LSU Tigers. And for me, I am going to also be rolling with the Cleveland Guardians. I think that they are definitely on a streak right now. They are exciting to watch, and I think that they are going to maintain this streak well into the playoffs over the Tigers. I'm with Cheats as well. There isn't something that I'm seeing that gives me the confidence to roll with the Tigers right now. And I just can't make that pick. So, all right, moving on to the AL East wild card. I guess that's what you should call it. That's going to be the Yankees versus the Red Sox. And before y'all pick, I just want to let you know it was announced today that Lucas Giolito will not be pitching in the wild
Just for the wild
card.
card or out for the whole?
It said right now for the wild card,
Okay.
elbow injury.
You just got surgery on that.
Yep.
All right,
I'm
so
going
Cheats, tell me who you got, Yankees or Red Sox?
I'm going Yankees, and it's not because I don't think the Red Sox can win. It's because I don't like the Red Sox. So this is a complete
on the record.
Expert analysis right here.
This is a complete heart. This is a complete heart, not head pick. I watched the Yankees a lot this year. They have problems. I'm telling you now, they have problems. Yes. They are not unbeatable. However, you're gonna get Fried, right? You're gonna get Rodon, right? Yes. You're probably gonna get Heel. Yes. I don't know who gets that third star. No, who's the? Yes. I hope they give the guy that pitched. Who's the young guy that came out of Double A that pitched against the Orioles this series? And he's been
Schlittler?
Yeah. That guy's been tough. So I just think if the Yankees bullpen, which the Yankees bullpen is an adventure, but if the Yankees bullpen can hold up just a bit, they're gonna hit. Obviously, they're gonna hit. Like that lineup's gonna hit. Mm-hmm. But can they get the pitching? I think they get the pitching over the Red Sox. But I yes, there's no world in which I want to see Boston continue in this particular series. So,
wow.
And to answer your question, it is Garrett Crochet versus Max Fried.
That's gonna be an amazing game, by the way. That's gonna be an awesome game. The Bronx is gonna be rocking for that game.
Yes. And Brian Bello versus Carlos Rodon.
And here's the thing: Crochet is good enough, and he's been good enough all season to beat anybody and shut him down.
Yes.
Yes. And he could. He really could. Fried's been really good. Crochet's been better. So that's a scary game one. But I just don't like the makeup of the Red Sox. And so I like the team of the Yankees better. like the players on the Yankees better. So I'm gonna root for the Yankees.
Okay. Malik,
Hard
Red
hitting
Sox or
analysis, Flobo.
Yankees?
I feel like this for me
He's a
was a
hater.
little bit tougher, but it would be even a more tough conversation if Roman Anthony was still involved in that Red Sox lineup. The way that he kind of was transforming the way that lineup would score runs, with him being at the top of the order, with him having that oblique injury or that back injury, whatever he's dealing with, it's really causing a ripple effect. Like besides that really big hit, Cedon Rafaela was pretty cold towards this last half of the season. They're going to have to kind of rely on the likes of Trevor Story and Bregman to really come through, which are two really good veteran players. But I feel like there's a lot more volatility. And I'm saying this like comparing to the Yankees lineup, there's a lot more volatility in the Red Sox lineup than in the Yankee lineup as far as the way that they score runs. Even with the Yankees being so home run heavy, they do have some players that can just really turn it around, like Ben Rice, and some other players that can really turn up in the playoffs, like Giancarlo Stanton. So I'm going to have to give it to the angry Yankees, that is, with an angrier Aaron Judge and a team that really wants to come back and like win that World Series and prove to the league that they belong in the World Series as well. So got to give it to the Yankees.
Really quickly too, before because I've never liked the Red Sox. I will say that, but I also want like Roman Anthony. I know he's a really good player. I know that. I think he's a lineup changer. I know that. He got his extension. He should continue. That's a good thing as well for him. He's starting like the Roman Anthony talk, well deserved or not, starting to give me the same feeling that we talked about before the season about the whole Bobby Witt stuff. And it's not Roman Anthony's fault. It's other people that like Roman Anthony, and Roman Anthony's a good player. But it's one of those things where these are like I can't bring myself. And this is not, again, I watched the whole, what's the Netflix thing? What's the Netflix thing?
The Clubhouse?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't find a bunch of likable characters on the Red Sox. I was not endeared. I watched that whole thing and didn't like one player better. I don't know what that says about me. So
I'm just saying. Boston thing, really. I mean,
I think it's a Boston
Right.
thing. It's hard to the fog. It's just like not a likable. Like,
99% of these guys aren't from Boston. They just play in Boston, right? I actually like Alex Cora.
Right.
I like Alex Cora. I do like Alex Cora. I remember Alex Cora playing shortstop for the University of Miami. He's an amazing player. But I can't get myself around cheering for this particular Red Sox team. To me is more unlikable. Like the Big Papi teams were likable to me. Like Manny Ramirez and Big Papi and Pedro, they were if you don't have a dog in that fight, that team's Pedroia, that's a likable team, right? Outside of Kurt Schilling. But this team particularly, I can't get myself.
But they're just kids. I mean, like what have they done?
Yeah, I know.
They're just kids.
I'm sorry. I went on a whole useless rant. Because again, they haven't done anything to me. It's not personal.
Yeah, Marcelo Mayer, right? Just sitting there. I don't like you.
I like
that smug face you make in Roman Anthony. I don't like it.
Wow.
I actually like Marcelo. I like Mayer a lot. He's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm going to be rooting for the Red Sox, but the Yankees are going to win. And I think one of the fallouts or revelations of not getting Soto is that Aaron Judge had to go back to right, and Trent Grisham got a chance to do his thing, and now he's a threat as well. He wouldn't even given the opportunity had there been that kind of bottleneck there. I think that might be the X factor for that Yankee squad, just that mix of youth and that mix of veteran stuff and Judge. There's a hard lineup to get to not. If they don't get out of the wild card, that will be a bigger failure than being embarrassed on a national stage in the World Series last year.
Okay. And I made my pick before the Lucas Giolito news. I had the Red Sox, and my dad, I thought he was going to hang up on me, y'all. My dad was not pleased with me picking the Red Sox over the Yankees, but we went back and forth, and I told him that, as you stated, Malik, they're very scrappy. They can be volatile. I do think that the leadership of Bregman is gonna play a role in this particular postseason, and I'm not gonna lie, I just don't trust the Yankees fielding and base running to confidently pick them even in the postseason. And I know that they ended the season off well, but I also looked at who they ended off the season well with. And yeah, I mean, I like the Yankees team. I said that as a Dodgers. I like the players, but and remember, I also picked the Red Sox before the season. So I'm gonna stick with that.
I feel like this group gives a lot of credit to Scrap. Like, I feel like the scrappy.
It's kind of like when you hate teams for hating on them. They're scrappy. I don't like them. Why cheats? I don't know.
Yeah. Like a lot of credit. There's a lot of credit to the scrappy, play the game the right way type. Give me the bombs.
Wow.
Listen, y'all know I tore the Red Sox up on my podcast. Tore their behinds up on my podcast. But listen, yes. I'm gonna give credit where it's due. All right, so let's go back. We are moving into the ALDS, and this is going to be the Guardians versus the Mariners. The Mariners, who have not made it in quite however many years. Yep. So, Cheats, let's start off with you.
Yeah, I've been on record now saying how much since the trade deadline I like the Mariners. Give me the Mariners, man. I don't. They do a lot of things well, and I think their pitching lines up as well. I really do like their starting pitching. And they, again, just give me. It doesn't have to be pretty all the time. Just give me the bombs, man. Give me Randy. Give me J-Rod. Give me Kyle Riley. Give me Josh Naylor stealing bases. Give me J.P. Crawford in there. I am excited to see what this Mariners team can do, and the magic runs out, Flobo, in Cleveland. The magic runs out.
Last week, you're like, I want the Reds in because I like small teams or grit. Mind you, the Mets had two guys that were 30 for 30. They had bombs. I'm with.
I like the. I told you that I like the Reds. I still like the Reds.
I get it. No, I gotta say the Mariners have to win this series.
Personally, want the Reds.
I didn't. They don't deserve to win, but we needed to win. But I'm going with the Mariners too, man. I want to see how far they can go. 21 years without going to the playoffs. I mean, I think the longest current drought now is Los Angeles at the Angels. So props to them for getting back in there. You know what I mean? I want to see them go for a run.
All right.
Yeah, Malik. Definitely got to go with those M's. I really like their team. I like the offense that they're bringing to the table. And also, they steal bases. And so they're gonna play a type of baseball in the postseason that's gonna get them extra runs.
Yes.
And they're gonna play their best ball since they haven't been here in this capacity in a while. Another thing, and don't want to just like honk the horn of the Astros, but they're not anywhere in sight in this postseason bracket. And so the Mariners are gonna play with a little bit more of a like this is our league to win. Yeah, this is our moment. They're nowhere to be found. The devil is not here. Boogeyman is not here, so we can beat up on everybody else.
Okay.
That's funny.
For once, well, besides the Dodgers, all four of us have picked the Mariners because I too believe that even though the Guardians have had a great run, I believe that this is where their run ends. I believe that the Mariners will overtake the Guardians and they're ready for this particular moment. So all right, moving on to the second part of the ALDS. That is going to be the Blue Jays versus Malik, the Yankees.
Yes, I think that the Blue Jays are going to take this series, and Drake's going to come out of nowhere, repping the Blue Jays. We're not going to know what that's going to do for the rest of the Blue Jays run in the playoffs. Drake's going to come out of nowhere with Joe Carter jersey, whatever. He's just gonna come out there hand in hand with Vlad or something, going down the tarmac, whatever. But I don't know. I think that the Blue Jays offense is just pretty special. If they get through Max Fried and Rodon, you don't know what that's a team that can actually get through these two players. And so I think that the Blue Jays are going to take it from the Yankees and kind of send them on some heartbreak.
So much hate in this episode. Damn, Drake. We hate on Drake.
There's a lot of hate.
Catching strays.
All right, Cheats, let me know. Yankees or Blue Jays? Who you got?
I'm going to tell you what, though. I think this is going to be a really fun, hard to predict series. I think it's going to be a fun series. I think it's going to be hard to predict. I think they're going to be absolutely rocking in the Rogers Center. And if you've ever seen that place really like going and excited, one of the like crowd wise. I mean, Flobo, were you there this year?
Yeah,
You were there
Crazy,
this year.
right?
Yeah, like the images I've seen of like when they're excited and playing well, it seems like a really rocking place to play, tough place to play, for a visiting team. So I'm excited about the idea that you're going to play some of these games in the Rogers Center, then you're going to go and play some of these games in the Bronx. It's what playoff baseball, almost a bit of a throwback, if you will. With that said, this one's tough. I am going to go with the Yankees getting back there. I think the Yankees getting through this one. So I'm just going to stick with the Yankees. I don't have any real concrete evidence that the Yankees are going to get past the Red Sox or the Blue Jays, but I think they will. And I think the Yankees.
They got Jazz Chisholm. They got good players. I think it's a possibility, right?
Anything is
Flobo,
possible.
let us know who you got. Are you rolling with the Yankees or are you rolling
No,
with the
I
Blue
want
Jays?
the Blue Jays to win it for their own good. The Yankees still need a new manager. Hopefully, if they lose in Toronto, this will be the final stroke in that guy's coffin. I'm over the Boone era. Give me the Blue Jays.
Oh wow,
Okay.
that's vendetta right there. Talk about haters.
Yeah, I'm going with
like
the,
it.
going with the
Yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna stick with my pick, Red Sox. I know y'all probably think I'm
So
crazy,
you got
but
Red Sox over the Yankees, Red Sox over the Blue Jays.
Wow.
yes. But I will say this: whoever comes out of that bottom part of the graph, Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays, I believe that they're going to the ALCS.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So
That's
you
good in my head.
there you go. So you got the Red Sox in the World Series.
Yes, that's what I said
So-
before the season started. I'm sticking
both
with my
sides.
pick.
All right.
I'm not
On
moving.
both
All right.
sides, you got
April's good. April's in. April's done.
Yes, I picked the Red Sox for the World Series in the ALCS. And fellas, that means Flobo. Who you got? Mariners or Blue Jays going to the World
I mean,
Series?
look, I want to do the feel good World Series. I want that Brew Crew and Mariners so we can have a good time and kumbaya it out. So I'm going to go with the Mariners with that one.
Man, hold on. What's this World Series?
It's
Tell
gonna
me
be
again,
the
Flobo.
Brewers Mariners, man. The feel good World Series, the kumbaya World Series.
Bruh. The commissioner's office is shaking their head right now.
Tough.
They're still recovering from a Rangers Diamondbacks.
I was
That
about
didn't
to
count.
say
That's
that.
fake news.
Yes.
You're gonna put in a Mariners Brewers World
Think of the
Series.
stories, man.
Good
Think
grief.
of the stories.
Good grief. Look,
All right.
good thing they got the Yankees
Malik.
Dodgers last year.
Malik, who do you have out of the Mariners and Blue Jays as well?
This is what's going to happen. The Mariners are going to make it to the World Series facing the Dodgers. And here's the story. I can see it now. They're going to be battling for the Pacific. Whichever team wins this World Series is going to have a market in Japan, Korea, and every market that they've been trying to expand over in the last like 5 years. Because the Mariners, they've been trying to get their market going. They've had really good Japanese players in their past. The Dodgers, they are already trying to become the monopoly of those players. You got Murakami. This was a really good left-handed hitter in the NPB
Swallows.
who's looking to play in the league next year. I think this is going to line up. Not only that, but the Padres, they're looking for players in Korea. So we're going to see these two players, these two teams, the Dodgers and the Mariners, fight for not only just that year, but for the rest of their future. In the international market of baseball. That's what I see happening.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
It's a legitimately real question. If it's the Mariners and the Dodgers in the World Series, does anyone on the East Coast care about this? Does anybody watch it?
Nope.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be a well-watched World Series if it's the Mariners and the Dodgers?
Cal Riley versus Shohei Ohtani.
Doesn't
World
matter in
Series?
Queens.
Absolutely.
No one cares. No one cares about Philadelphia.
Thank you.
No one's gonna care.
It's okay though. Maybe we don't need that.
The worst.
Maybe we
I
don't
would
need
say the
that.
worst World
about that.
We
Series.
need the real baseball heads to watch this game. We need
The worst
real
one would be San Diego,
Yeah,
Boston. But this is
the
really
only
bad.
reason I think about that is because I remember as a younger, much younger. I remember. I don't know when the first Subway World Series was. Piazza was playing in it.
2000.
Clemens through the bat, all that stuff, right? Whenever it was, I just remember thinking it was the biggest thing in the world. I was like, "Oh man, the Yankees and the Mets are in the World Series. This is awesome!" And I remember like hearing about the ratings and the numbers and the stats, and they were like, you put those two teams in the World Series, it's great in regards to storylines, but no one else in the rest of the world, like universe. I mean, there's obviously Mets and
Right.
Yankees fans in other places, but it was like horrible for the fact that the rest of the world just was like, eh. And I kind of feel like if you put the Mariners and the Dodgers in the World Series on the East Coast, they're going to be like, eh.
Well, yeah,
That's okay.
it's a marketing problem, right?
He's like, it's
It's
okay.
I'd rather that than
You
San
need a
Diego,
break
Boston.
from the East
San Diego,
Coast.
Boston would break more than-
All right, continue on. I was just saying.
That
I was
is
just
true,
wondering.
though.
Cheats. All right, so you are the
I'm Yankees
wait,
Blue
you
Jays.
said Mariners,
Yes.
right, Malik?
Yes. Oh, he's
All right, and so Cheats is you are last. You Yankees though.
Mariners, Yankees, and because I am a plant for the commissioner's office, I am
paid actor.
I'm a plant for I'm a plant
Paid
for
actor.
ratings, and I like who I like.
Dang.
I am actually, as much as I do like Seattle, I am going to have, because I want my World Series to be Yankees, Phillies.
But that's all East Coast.
No one cares about the Phillies either.
Yeah. I live over here.
Oh,
From the West Coast to the whole East Coast.
the hate is
What
real.
Biggie say?
Oh man, I feel like there'd be more views on the West Coast.
Malik, what Biggie say? If I got to pick a coast, it's got to be
Fair,
the East.
fair.
I live out here, so don't.
I mean,
I live out here. Yeah.
All right.
So yes, I'm gonna go major markets, Philly, Yankees, World Series.
Well, I'm gonna start it off.
And I will I will also elaborate on the fact that I do think the Mariners are like, it's good if there is in turn a ALCS that is featured the Mariners versus the Yankees. I think that's going to be awesome. I think fans are going to love it. I think it's going to be really highly competitive and scrutinized games. You're going to see huge stars, obviously, in Aaron Judge and Kyle Riley, but you're going to see, you mentioned them, you're going to see like J-Rod and Jazz Chisholm and just like the ancillary stars of that game is those games will be much more like, it'll be exciting. So two wonderful stadium environments. Like, I can't imagine what T-Mobile in the playoffs is going to look like. We know what Yankee Stadium is going to look like. So there's a lot in that series, but I just I just think the kind of like last year, the Yankees find a way to rise to the occasion and get to the World Series. So
fair.
Which leads us, everyone, to our final round, which is the World Series. So I'm actually going to start it off. Because y'all already know who I'm picking. I have the Dodgers versus the Red Sox. And I think that the Dodgers will ride off into the sunset with their 9th World Series win. And Clayton Kershaw also leaving with another ring. That's my pick. Dodgers.
what the hell?
a harder challenge.
The
Dodgers, they're going to play the Red Sox in the World Series.
Exactly.
Hey, 2018 repeat.
Right.
Can
Dodgers type.
Exactly. 2018 repeat.
Right. Can you find the Orioles and put them in the World Series?
Stop it.
Still in Cancun.
April needs an easy game.
Orioles have been in like Dominican Republic since like last week.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, you could probably get the Dominican Winter League Championships to play the
Stop
Dodgers in there,
it.
but the Red Sox are like.
All right.
The Red Sox got to not only be good, they got to catch fire and be good. And like they're a 5th seed for a reason.
Yeah, I would love the Mariners to win. That'd be the first title, right? I would love it to win.
Yes.
I would love Ichiro to be on the field to pass over the championship. I do think boring ball wins, and I mean that with all due respect. So I'm going to pick Milwaukee, but my heart's going to hurt. I'm going to vote for Seattle.
You got Blue Jays?
I got the Brewers.
Wait, you had the Blue Jays versus. Just kidding.
You
Why
had
did
the
I do
Brewers in
that?
the
You're
World
right,
Series.
Brewers. I wrote the wrong thing.
Yeah,
you got the Brewers winning it all?
Yeah, I got the Brewers winning it all, man.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's not boring ball. That's
ball for stat heads. Stat
Okay, you're
heads.
right.
You know, our sponsors, our guy, my man John over at Numbers Game Scorecards will be extremely happy to hear somebody pick the Brewers. So,
Well, why is that, Cheese? Tell us more.
Numbers Game loves the Brewers. They're based in Milwaukee.
I was
Thank you,
thinking do a whole
DJ, for
commercial.
saying that you agree with me
No,
about LA and
no.
Boston. Appreciate
Shut
it.
up, my guy Izzy.
That's it. I'm done.
All right, now Malik, you have Dodgers versus Mariners. Who are you rolling with for the big win?
Whoa.
Okay, we're gonna go with the Mariners. They got to get their first one.
There you go. Wow.
They got to get their one. You know, it's in our lifetime. We got to see the Mariners.
This team is going down in immortality.
Yes,
I
we
mean,
got it.
yeah.
We got to do it, and then that's gonna let Dipoto, you know, kind of rest a little bit. He can spend a little more money. You know, the Seattle Mariners fans can finally feel that, you know, that ease. So let them get their one ring and, you know, see where it goes from there with the future of their farm. But Mariners over the Dodgers.
Okay.
Do it for Ichiro.
Yeah, do it
And
for him.
then Cheats.
Do it for Felix.
Yankees versus
Team Fields.
Fields. I
Team
think I
Fields.
already know who you picking, but go ahead and let us know.
Yeah, you congratulations to the 2025 World Series champions, and that is none other than Cal Schwarber, Bryce Harper,
Boo!
Suarez,
That stinks.
Are you
A
being
dark
for
cloud
real?
over baseball.
Johan Duran.
Wait, are you being facetious? Or are you being for
No,
real?
no, I think
That-
I'm picking the Phillies to win the World
That is
Series.
that's
That-
awful.
Now,
Aaron
is this
Altair
for
is
real,
not
or
on
is
that
this because
team.
you really believe this?
That's awful.
Show up.
Is
No,
this
what
for
is
real, or is this-
okay, wait a second, guys. Wait a second.
I beg your pardon?
You're acting like the Phillies aren't like the second best team in the National. You're acting like the Phillies aren't good.
I'm not saying that.
saying that,
I'm
but
not
I know
saying
you
that.
We've been going in like we don't like
getting,
them.
I'm
You know-
getting a lot of vibes from you guys.
I'm
The
I like 'em, but
96
don't like
win, the 96 win Phillies
right.
that have one of the best lineups in baseball.
You don't have to convince me they're good. No, they don't have to convince me that they're good. I just don't like them. They're awful. Their vibes are terrible.
Right.
What's his name? What's his name? I said Bryce Schwarber.
What's his
Bryce,
name?
Bryce Schwarber.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper and his beard and not being there. I don't like any of it.
What's
man.
his
It's whack.
name? Bryce Harper.
They got
Yeah,
no
that's it.
swag in Philadelphia, bro.
They got drama every year. Last
Right.
year was Alec Baum. This year is Nick Castellanos. I mean,
Yeah, them interviews
just-
look crazy. Oh my
That's
god.
Black Baseball mixtape.
Look.
You're rooting for the Phillies. Godly.
Taiwan, I need you on that roster, baby.
Nah, he ain't gonna be
Let
invited.
let me also say this, everybody. Not a single one of us picked the same team to win for the World Series, which is pretty incredible. So Cheats has the
Yeah.
Phillies, Malik
Yeah.
has the Mariners, Flobo has the Brewers, and I have the Dodgers. So that
That's
means that
nice.
y'all all have to tune in to make sure that you are watching to see who is correct.
Yeah, this one's hard. This one's not easy. It'll be a lot of fun games. But obviously it's best time of year. This is really the crowds are going to be fantastic.
Yes.
The intensity is going to be every pitch, and I mean, and this is one of the reasons. I know. Look, Flobo scoffed at me earlier when I said
did.
that this playoffs could be the best we've
Yes.
seen. It could be the best.
Is it? Because you don't watch the Cubs, but want the Phillies to win the whole thing. I don't know, Cheats. That would be the
I'm
wackest.
predicting the
Versus
Phillies to
Phillies.
win the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I
here's the
also-
thing. Here's
Oh.
the thing. You got a really exciting Seattle team. You've got a really exciting you got a really exciting Seattle team. You got the Yankees in. You've got the Phillies in. You've got the Dodgers in. You've got a really exciting Cleveland team in. You've got some teams that I think will make the storylines work. And I'm not even talking about the Brewers. Like, the Brewers are the best team in baseball, right? If the Cubs do win, say the Cubs get through the Padres in round one, playoff baseball in Wrigley Field that matters. Like, I don't remember the last time we saw stuff like that. So it has the potential to be a really, really great playoffs.
And I also love that you mentioned that, because with these matchups that we discussed, I know it seems like we were kind of like we're picking it fairly easily, but I think that these are all really good matchups, and they were way more difficult for us to pick than what seemed to the natural eye. So I'm really excited about all of these series. Y'all do not lose y'all jobs watching these games, but this is going to be good.
I'm just going off vibes, guys. I'm just going off vibes.
Same.
Heavy vibes. And I feel like Flobo does not like the Phillies vibes. But
Dude,
the Phillies win, man. They
okay.
They should have called up Justin Crawford this year, though. He's hitting.
That's what I'm
think so?
saying, man.
Yeah, even with the data saying that he's hitting the ball on the ground, hitting over 300 in AAA for the whole year. Come on now, don't they need outfield help?
What's
Picking the Phillies is like the guy that goes to Chipotle for lunch every day. It's like, it's not bad, but come on, man. There's options out there. Like
the slot bucket place.
I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Corporate slot buckets.
Put it in the bowl, man.
Put it in the bucket.
I feel excited.
Hey, look. If it works out where there's like a Seattle San Diego World Series, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna turn it off.
That's not what's in.
That's not. That's the opposite West Coast battle.
That's what's out.
remember the rivalry week, the Vetter Cup?
Yeah.
It's a guitar.
They're on the same freeway.
Yeah, stupid ass.
And to nobody again. We're not. I guess we're not gonna. We don't think there's gonna be a World Series repeat between the Yankees and the Dodgers here, huh? It's highly likely that it is, though.
It very well could be.
I'm going to say no for two reasons. And one, this Yankees team, its path to the World Series is not as flat as it was last year. So they have some challenges there. They go through a Boston team that's unpredictable and the Blue Jays team that won the division. It doesn't feel like the same thing. And on the other side, LA, I have more confidence in them repeating. But what I said earlier is they are a year older and a lot of their youth parts aren't really in the star slots of, say, their MVP. So, like, to me, it feels very highly unlikely. If it works, it's cool, but I don't see it happening.
And it's going to be really tough for the Dodgers after they lose game 1 to Hunter Green.
Listen, man, that ain't happening.
They might lose game 1 to Hunter Green.
The Reds are going to land and say, keep the Uber running.
Well, we have to remember Mookie Betts is playing some great baseball offensively and defensively. A lot of the players are. We're getting back quite a few players who were on injury. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get, I can't think of his name, center fielder who also plays infield as well.
You talking about Edmund? Is he? Huh? Is Edmund out?
Yes, he was out.
He's back. Tommy Edmonds is coming back, right?
Yeah, he'll be back. So I think those pieces are going to play a large role in putting them over into the next round. But I do think that this is going to be one of the most exciting World postseasons that we've had in a very long time. So make sure you're glued into everything.
It's going to be green. Burns comes in. We'll see how it goes. Game 1.
Yeah, you're saying all that, but yeah.
And a hard pinch hit. And a hard pinch hit. We'll see what happens. Will Benson. Let's get it done. No, guys, it's been really great. And again, tomorrow is by the time a lot of people are listening to this later today, will be a full slate of games that we're just excited about. Really quickly, I think I did have the times. Hold on one second. Yes, the times for Tuesday, 1 o'clock on ESPN. It is Detroit at Cleveland, 3 o'clock in Chicago, ABC. San Diego, Chicago, 6 o'clock. ESPN is loving it. How exciting are they? Red Sox, Yankees, 9 p.m. ESPN, Reds, Dodgers. Guys, everybody get ready. We're excited. Again, I want to thank our partners and our sponsors, Players Alliance, Numbers Game Scorecards, Rebellion Harvest Sunflower Seeds, Minority Prospects, Flobo. In the booth, what do we got?
In the booth, coming back next week with a brand new episode. Can't wait for that. We're hanging out with Chris Hines, who's a super fan and content creator of the Toronto Blue Jays. But I gotta say, there was that last week I talked about that web exclusive clip with DJ for the win at Home Run Derby X. Over 2,000 views on the YouTube channel, one of the highest views ever on that channel for the past couple of months. So thank you for checking that out. It means the world. We need more stuff like that. Thank you so much. So yeah, in the booth, coming soon.
There you go. What are we doing in the 10th inning, April?
If you have not checked out my interview episode with the Natola Hawthorne, please make sure that you do so. She had some incredible gems that she discussed with me in regards to umpiring in general, and what it means to be a woman in this particular space, which I definitely related to. And if you are on Threads, make sure that you are tuned in tomorrow because I will be participating in a Threads thing where I actually give my predictions as well. So my predictions here will be posted live on Threads for you to be able to see through MLB.
There you go. April getting the big MLB rub. We love it. We love it for you. We love it for us. Fantastic. Malik, what you got going on?
Yes, so just stay tuned. I'm gonna be collaborating with a member of the Black Baseball Mixtape Discord. We're gonna be trying to write a little bit of a debate article on some upcoming awards, writing awards. One of them being the MVP award. So stay tuned for that. And so we're gonna be talking a little bit about Cal and Aaron Judge and who should win the MVP. It's a little bit of a debate this season.
Little bit. I think it's much to do about nothing.
We think
All
so,
right,
but
don't start this. Don't start this.
We're not gonna. We don't have time. We don't have time.
For the record,
we
I
won't.
can't wait for this because I still have that documentation here as well.
No, guys. Everybody's doing fantastic work. I'm really excited about it. Only thing I got is on the blog today on the blackbaseballmixtape.com. I dropped an article that I've been working on for a couple weeks, actually, trying to figure out. There are 7 African Americans in the history of baseball that have served as general managers. Obviously, we know that there's one now currently in Major League Baseball. That's Dana Brown in Houston. We talked a lot about him. He's been on the podcast before. It's we're obviously Dana Brown's an amazing baseball lifer. But I asked around. Unlike Flobo, my normal work of just me, just spilling my thoughts. I actually did talk to quite a few people, learned a little bit about the inner workings of what it takes to be a GM, try to figure out who would be the more likely candidates to be number 8, if you will, who would be number 8 if there was an African American to be tapped as a general manager in Major League Baseball. There's a couple factors that I think people aren't even necessarily thinking about, even when they hear the word general manager. In some organizations, that actually means what we think it means as a general manager. In a lot of organizations in 2025, it does not. The general manager role is much more now, could be an assistant to the president of baseball operations. So if you're an organization that has a president of baseball operations, i.e. the Orioles, who are looking for a general manager, you could be hired as a general manager, but you are technically more of an assistant general manager to the president of the baseball operation. So there's a lot that goes in there. I learned a lot. One of the things I was really surprised to learn was at the start of this 2025 season, there are 14 women who are general managers in minor league baseball. However, there are only one African American, it's a male, that I could find in my research in all affiliate ball as in general manager. The interesting thing, though, is the affiliate ball general managers are completely different than the major league general managers. So that's another thing. The affiliate ball general managers are much more of an operations of the stadium, right? They're not doing player personnel decisions. So it's a really, I think there's a good list of candidates of who could be number 8. There's a little bit of the journey that it took us to get to 8, or get it to 7, if you will. But you can read it all. It's on the blackbaseballmixtape.com as we speak now. And hopefully we'll get a couple of more of those articles in while my fingers still work. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. With that said, I want to thank everyone again for tuning in. Thank everyone who was in the comments on IG and YouTube as well. We had some YouTubers on there as well. So until next time, everyone, we will catch it. I mean, I guess, I don't know. We'll have to figure out if we're going to do live playoff.
You did say that.
Yeah, we got to figure it out. All right, we'll figure it out later.